اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك.
National Hajj Commission has made the necessary for your comfort.
The preparation is very good.
I'm very happy, extremely happy, because this is my first time.
And I prepare to follow the rules and regulations given to me.
اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك له. لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك لبيك الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. Hello and welcome to another edition of the program As You Answer the Call. I am Rashida Abubakar, your regular host. Glad to be with you once again. But before we continue, viewers are hereby informed that this program now comes up on Fridays at 10 p.m. as against the same airtime on Mondays. Please take note. Now to the program. Officials of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, led by the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Zubairu Dada, and other stakeholders, have just concluded the first round of pre-Hajj visit to Saudi Arabia, during which discussions were held with various service providers, resulting in the signing of MOUs. What are the highlights of these MOUs and their impact on the 2023 Hajj preparations? Answers to these questions and more will form the thrust of our Spotlight segment. Also in the program is Making the Hajj, featuring discussions on Hajj and its pillars. Still in the package, we have other regular segments such as NAHCON News Diary, which focuses on the activities of NAHCON and other stakeholders in the Hajj industry. Do stay with us.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. As usual, we'll begin the program with the News Diary.
The chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, Al-Hajj Zikrullah Kulle Hassan, has on behalf of the Commission and Nigerian Muslim Ummah appreciated the Saudi government for facilitating early preparations for the 2023 Hajj exercise. Al-Hajj Zikrullah stated this in a statement he personally signed at the end of the first phase of the pre-Hajj visit undertaken by Nigerian officials. While commending the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdul Aziz, for the kingdom's sacrifice in making Hajj comfortable for the Muslim Ummah, the NAHCON boss said early preparation is fundamental to the success of the Hajj. The chairman further thanked all stakeholders and service providers for the support and understanding accorded the Nigerian delegation during the just concluded pre-Hajj visit in Saudi Arabia. He then reiterated the commitment of NAHCON to deliver a hitch-free Hajj exercise this year. In the meantime, Chairman of Oyo State Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board, Professor Sayyid Malik, has led other officials of the board to submit the report of the 2022 Hajj exercise to the state governor, Sheyi Makinde. While receiving the report at the government house in Ibadan, the governor appreciated the chairman and other members and staff of the board for a successful Hajj operation despite the hitches faced. He then charged the board to start preparation for the 2023 Hajj in order to avoid last-minute rush. In his remarks, Professor Sayyid promised to carry out all the directives given by the governor, including that of refunding those who missed the 2022 Hajj and want to collect their money. In a related development, Bauchi State Pilgrims Welfare Board has advised intending pilgrims who wish to register for the 2023 Hajj through the state to deposit the sum of 1.5 or 2.5 million naira with the board pending the final announcement of the Hajj fare by NAHCON. A statement to this effect by the board public relations officer, Muhammad Sani Yunusa, says the board has scheduled Wednesday the 1st and Saturday the 4th of February for the submission of bank tellers and issuance of receipt at the board's headquarters or all the local government offices across the state.
Alhamdulillah, if you are just tuning in, the program is As You Answer the Call, sponsored by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, to keep you informed about the activities of the Commission and other Hajj-related matters. Few days ago, Nigeria signed various memorandum of understanding with service providers in Saudi Arabia as part of preparations for the 2023 Hajj. The engagement took place during the first phase of the pre-Hajj visit by NAHCON officials and stakeholders. The visit is a necessary prerequisite for a successful conduct of the Hajj exercise. For details of the highlight of the MOU signed, stay tuned for our Spotlight segment coming up shortly. Keep watching.
لبيك لبيك اللهم لبيك 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 اللهم لبيك 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 اللهم لبيك.
As part of the preparations for the 2023 Hajj exercise, officials of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, and other key stakeholders in Hajj affairs have concluded the first phase of the pre-Hajj visit to Saudi Arabia. The visit provided the Nigerian delegation the opportunity to have series of meetings with Saudi authorities and service providers, leading to the signing of Memorandum of Understandings, MOUs. The first of such was on the 9th of January 2023 between Nigeria and Saudi Arabia. The signing of the documents took place in Jeddah. Nigerian Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Zubairu Dada, signed the documents on behalf of Nigeria. In the MOU signed, Nigeria's quota for the 2023 Hajj is still fixed at 95,000.
As indicated, the MOU is first and foremost and more importantly the beginning of going back to Hajj as we used to know it. If you recall last year's Hajj, there was nothing like MOU, almost nothing like pre-Hajj visible. This year, the MOU has been signed, and the major highlight of the MOU is to say that we are getting 95,000 pilgrims, getting a number of officials. In addition to the fact is that, as everybody fully knows, there's no more age limit, and the requirement of the COVID test is no more. The agreement also expects us to process our payment through the electronic system. Essentially, is asking us to go back to what Hajj operation used to be. The only addition I must emphasize, obviously, is that there's going to be more electronic approach to transaction this year.
The signing of the MOU paved way for NAHCON to go into formal discussions with service providers in Mecca and Medina. This also led to the signing of other MOUs. The service providers involved in the discussions were establishment of Mutawif for pilgrims of Africa non-Arab countries known as Muassasa, Adilla, General Authority of Civil Aviation, GACA, General Car Syndicate, and United Agents. At its meeting with the establishment of Mutawif for pilgrims from Africa non-Arab countries known as Muassasa, NAHCON executives led by its chairman, Alhaji Zikrullah Kulle Hassan, discussed about the various services that will be rendered to Nigerian pilgrims in Mecca during the 2023 Hajj. The services include the provision of accommodation, feeding, transportation, as well as mashair activities, that is, the stay in Muna, Arafah, and Muzdalifah. To this effect, agreements have been signed with Nigeria getting 5% reduction in the services expected to be rendered for pilgrims in Muna and Arafah.
That to us is a way that we have taken to see that Hajj fare will not go too much high, because the other indices are there and other considerations are there that ordinarily will make Hajj fare not go down as we wanted, but we had to go into bargaining to ensure that we tame it at a reasonable price.
With Muassasa still to handle the feeding in Mashair, Nigeria is planning to have effective supervisory mechanism in place.
We are going to give them many of our own Nigerian food, and of course rice, is a staple food for everybody. But other food like Nigerian food like tuwo and amala and all those whatever Nigerians eat, akamu, akara, and all some of those food, we are going to have them in place by the committee we are putting in place. So, but the food is also going to be so quality, not just the quality, but going to be a double ration.
In Medina, the NAHCON delegation held another round of meeting with Adilla. It is the establishment responsible for the stay of pilgrims in Madinatul Munawwara. Issues bordering on the provision of accommodation, feeding, transportation, among others, were considered. This also led to the signing of an MOU.
We also signed an agreement with them to ensure that they put all the arsenals in place to ensure the comfortability of the Muslims as soon as they arrive the airport in Nigeria, and all the routes that they are going to take from one point to the other. Those that are coming to Medina, those that are coming through Medina, and those that are coming through Jeddah.
Like other previous outings, Nigerian pilgrims will be lodged in the Markaziyya area. The Markaziyya hosts the best hotels in Medina, and it is a few meters away from the Prophet Masjid. But in Meccatul Mukarramah, there will be some slight changes, as most of the hotels in Misfila and Shara Mansur have been demolished to give way to the Saudi Vision 2030 project.
Because of these areas that are now left, that easily access the mosque, the Haram, is a lot of countries, other countries are now all coming there. They became highly competitive. They are now highly competitive. They have skyrocketed the prices. Also considering the fact that they have increased their VAT from 5% to 15%. And also many other charges that they have included, including Baladia, local government and other charges, they are all included. So this only will make the services high in prices, accommodation.
Similarly, during the pre-Hajj visit, Saudi authorities made clear that only the e-track and e-wallet will be used for Hajj transactions.
It is so clear that you cannot make any payment to any service provider except you use the e-track. And even to deposit money for generation of visa and accommodation and all those, it has to be through e-track. And if you decide, if you be at your own peril, if you decide to give money to a service provider by hand and it fails you, Saudi government will not intervene for you because you didn't use the e-track. So by this, everybody, Nigeria being we are disciplined Muslims, we wouldn't want to be shady in anything. These are guests of Allah. They were largely poor people who raised their resources, sell their funds to be able to do this. So we don't want them to suffer. So we met with them and they showed us all the issues about it, and we have accepted that we will do everything.
At the meeting between Nigerian officials and that of the Islamic Development Bank, issues of hadaya or animal sacrifice, capacity building, and many more topped the agenda.
Not all the issues as they were. They have always supplied us assistance in the area of training staff and training in various Muslim countries. They have also supported in the area of hadaya, that's animal slaughtering. So we told them that Nigeria also need part of this meat during the distribution. We should also give contracts of the slaughtering to some Nigerians who are skilled in it. Actually, this was the main issue why we visited them. Then secondly, is that we should also take contractors from among Nigerian citizens to also be part of the procurement of the buying of the animals and slaughtering and doing the slaughtering. They can do contract it out. And then they should also continue to help us in areas of training our staff in various fields of Islamic knowledge and even other disciplines, as they have always done.
With regards to aviation matters, the Nigerian delegation also had fruitful discussions with the Saudi General Authority on Civil Aviation, as well as the car syndicate that provides buses for Nigerian pilgrims during the Hajj. Meanwhile, Nigeria will not be part of the Mecca route initiative for the 2023 Hajj, but will join subsequently. The initiative, introduced by Saudi government a few years ago, allows Saudi immigrations to process Nigerian pilgrims at airports prior to their departure, so that when they arrive Saudi airports, they will not be subjected to immigration checks again. With the first round of the pre-Hajj visits over, NAHCON is expected to do its analysis, compile reports, and plan for next step.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك.
MashaAllah. Coming up next is making the Hajj. Tonight, the Chief Imam of Imo State, Imam Suleiman Yusuf Njoku, takes us through discussions on Hajj and its major pillars. Let's hear him.
لبيك لبيك اللهم لبيك 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 اللهم لبيك لبيك.
To perform the Hajj, pilgrims must observe specific rites as stipulated in Islam. Among these rites, some are obligatory, without which the Hajj is void. What then are these compulsory aspects of Hajj?
The Ihram, then Wukuf bil Arafah, even the Sa'i, all of them are they are mandatory.
On making the Hajj tonight, Imam Suleiman Yusuf Njoku answers these and other questions. He begins by explaining the concept of Hajj as a pillar of Islam.
It is an exercise where one, through his good intention, purifies his heart and purifies the exercise itself. Alayhi salatu wasalam said, Hajjul Maqbul aw Mabrur, that is a successful pilgrim who is successful, it will lead him to paradise. Just that, if it is accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it alone is enough to lead one to paradise, because that is what all of us are struggling for. We want to go to paradise. So Hajj is one of the 5 pillars of Islam that whoever Allah calls, because it's the call of Allah, it's not by your making, man istata'a ilayhi sabila, whoever Allah permits to go there, he should go with good intention and perform his Hajj.
Ihram, or declaration of intention, is the first pillar of Hajj or Umrah.
That is the elementary aspect of Hajj. The intention, then, in every part of the world that we come from, we have our miqat, where you take your ihram. Every part of the world, and when you reach there, I think our own is in Jeddah. That is where our miqat is. That is where they are. Then, when you take your ihram, you are now looking at yourself as someone who is you have built a high spiritual connection with God, and that is why it is always good for one to have good intention for Hajj. Immediately Hajj is mentioned to you, all you need to establish is, I am going to do this Hajj for the sake of Allah. So immediately you enter your ihram, one has to be very, very careful. And that is where that ayah is saying, wala fusuqa, wala jidala, wala rafatha, wala fusuqa, wala jidal fil hajj. If you are in the state of ihram, you don't argue, you don't fight, because you are connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala directly. Just when you say Allahu Akbar in your salawat.
Tawaf, or the circumambulation of the Kaaba, is also a pillar of the pilgrimage.
It is mandatory that we must do tawaf, but Allahu A'lam, it's only Allah knows the reason why tawaf should be performed. It's only Allah. That tawaf, you do it, it's only Allah, but it's mandatory. Just like the way when you say, Ar-Rahman ala al-Arsh istawa, Allah is on the throne. How is the throne? We don't know, but we have to believe in the throne. Is it so? So that is how it is in that tawaf. And that is one of the 4 pillars of Hajj.
Walking between the mountains of Safa and Marwa, otherwise known as Sa'i, is a pillar of Hajj, though some scholars are of the opinion that missing it can be redeemed.
According to some of the scholars, if you miss it, there are certain things you should do. Maybe by you slaughter or something to, augment it or something like that. But some said, well, the scholars, the Islamic jurisprudence, they are of many types. So, but then all we know that you do things according to the teaching of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, if the sa'i was done during the time of the Prophet, did it when he did his only Hajj. He performed Hajj once, Hajjatul Wada, and he did it, and it was confirmed in several hadiths. Then it is very, very important for every pilgrims to do it, so that you will have the reward complete.
Staying on the plains of Arafah on the 9th of Zulhijjah is also a pillar of Hajj. It is the pillar which the Prophet ﷺ described as the Hajj itself. Meaning, without Arafah, a pilgrim does not have a Hajj.
Wuquf bil Arafah, that's standing on the day of Arafah. That is one of the strongest, because if you didn't stand on the Arafah, it means you didn't go to Hajj. You must do that exercise. It's mandatory upon the pilgrims.
Imam Suleiman Yusuf Njoku calls on pilgrims to seek knowledge about Hajj and Umrah by participating in pilgrims' enlightenment programs organized by Hajj officials.
Now it's time to know the winner of last week's quiz and the question for this week. Good luck.
لبيك لبيك اللهم لبيك.
Welcome to the quiz segment. The question in the last episode was, what differentiates Hajj Tamattu'i from Hajj Qiran? The correct answer is, in Tamattu'i, pilgrims perform Hajj and Umrah separately, while in Qiran, Hajj and Umrah are jointly performed. The winner is Aliu Nasir from Sokoto State. He provided the answer ahead of others. Aliu Nasir will be contacted on how NAHCON will reach him with the prize he won. A quiz winner will get 25,000 Naira cash prize. This is part of NAHCON's effort in social investment in Nigeria. Now to the quiz for this week, and the question is, list the 4 pillars of Hajj. Again, list the 4 pillars of Hajj. Text your answer to the number showing on your screen. The winner will be the first person whose correct answer is received. All answers should carry the name and location of sender. Good luck and happy viewing.
Once again, good luck to you. Up next are your messages.
Abubakar Musa from Gombe State sent in the first message. It contains this prayer for NAHCON. Assalamu alaikum. May Allah assist NAHCON to continue carrying out its duties successfully. The second message came from GSM number 0703-279-5202. It reads, we appreciate NAHCON's effort in uplifting Hajj management. We also thank stakeholders for their collective contributions to the success of Hajj in Nigeria. May Allah continue to guide you all.
This is where we draw the curtain on today's program. See you same time next week with another edition of the program. But before we go, remember that you can send your messages, comments, observations and questions to our mobile phone number and all the social media platforms. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا